It's time once again for the Kennett Indian softball show as we visit with Kennett Indian head softball coach Logan Dollins. And coach, you came out with a district championship. That championship game had to be something that had your girls on the edge of their seats, and they pull out a 10-9 victory over a very pesky Malden ball club, and now you advance on to the quarterfinals.
Yeah, it was one of those games that kind of came down to the wire. We didn't play very well, honestly. I think we committed 9 errors throughout the game, and the biggest thing about it was the fact that we had heart in the seventh down 9-4. We could have rolled over and just let Malden have the game, but we just continued to stay scrappy and took it one pitch at a time, and somehow, some way, found a way to win.
Well, you move out of the district, and now you're awaiting an opponent in the state quarterfinals. One more win, and you go back to the Final Four. And looking at that Class Two, District Two, and Clearwater and St. Genevieve, both of those teams you played already. Clearwater, you had a 1-0 loss, and you don't see that very often. I know we talked a little bit about it, but in softball, a 1-0 loss is very rare, and you put several runs up against St. Gen, but oftentimes that's a little misleading because you don't know, what pitchers pitched in certain games, and you can't look back at regular season games because, like you say, they can have an off day or whatever, but they will not be playing until 2 o'clock today. So you really won't, and we're recording this on Thursday right before noon. So actually Wednesday right before noon as our days are running together. But so we'll know a little bit more Clearwater or St. Gen. Tell us a little bit about those two teams.
Both teams are quality bunches. Clearwater is extremely disciplined, well coached, great defense. We played them earlier in the season and lost 1-0. I thought we hit the ball hard and played an overall decent game, just couldn't find a way to win. And, St. Gen is another group we played early in the year. As the season progresses, everybody gets better. With St. Gen, they have a plus arm in the circle. And when we played them, we swung the bats really, really well. So, both quality teams in the postseason. Like I've always said, the better team doesn't always win. It's whoever plays the best that day. So we've got to find a way to put one game together and not think ahead or anything along those lines. We've got to focus in on a quarterfinal and put together the best game plan that we could possibly put together when we find out who we do play, and try to go out and execute that as best as we can.
Well, that will be a home game for your ball club, so that's an advantage having that at Indian Park. That's coming up on the 20th, and so you'll have a little bit of time to prepare. But another learning experience, I guess, in that district championship game. But you also mentioned during the season, as we talked about the team, so many times they're having to come back from behind in ball games, and we saw it against Valley View, another quality team, that they battled back and had a chance to maybe win that ball game. But I know you're going to emphasize the importance of getting out to a quick start and getting a lead in these games.
Yeah, I mean that's the kind of the key in the postseason is you got to try to figure out a way to jump ahead, just because it puts so much pressure on the other team. And if you don't, then you have to realize, hey, we can't press in this situation. And yesterday with the everything that kind of happened in the seventh, I feel like we were the loosest that we could have been going into the bottom of the seventh, and good things happened from there. So, at this time of the year, you gotta play really well because everybody wants the same prize that you're going after. So, from here on out, I mean, if we commit 9-10 errors, I mean, you shouldn't win a ball game. We just found ourselves in a spot and just took really good at bats and took really good swings and had heart at the plate and gave ourselves a chance to win that ball game, and we did. So moving forward, we have to eliminate the errors, and we can't let them stack on top of each other.
Well, you mentioned being loose, and that certainly is an advantage when you're at the plate. But also, it's also a big advantage out in the field if the ladies are loose and relaxed and comfortable. And it seems like making an error or two, the pressure just tightens a little bit, and sometimes it can snowball, as we've seen it with a lot of teams in a lot of different years.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's pressure. I mean, it's pressure season, and the goal of it is we say we try to eliminate it, but we're also dealing with high school athletes, and what you have to do is try to manage it as best as possible, and keep great spirit and keep great energy the entire time. If you do make an error, you got to move on and hope the next pitch is hit to you so that you can make up for it. So, um, that's kind of our motto right now is just take it one pitch at a time, and whatever happens, happens. And whether you hit the ball out of the yard or you ground out to the pitcher or strike out swinging, our yesterday the thought process is if we're going to go down, let's go down swinging, and that's kind of how we managed that last inning and kind of created fits for a really good Malden team.
Well, Coach, congratulations on that district victory, and now off to the quarterfinals. And we'll have that broadcast coming up. And with the win there, you're back to the Final Four. And I know for this softball team, and especially this group of seniors, that's what they're wanting to get back to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. The goal is to win the district every year, and then kind of everything else is icing on the cake. But they've had a taste of the postseason, and getting to the Final Four last year and making it to the state championship game. There's not a better atmosphere than that, and I think that now the goal is to get back there, and it takes one game to do it. And so we're going to put max effort into what we're doing for the next few days when it comes to practice, and try to create as game-like environment as we possibly can to try to prepare for this quarterfinal. But yeah, now I mean our goal is we got to win one more and get back to the Final Four, and whatever happens there happens. So just hoping to play good ball is what I'm wanting to do in the next game.
Well, good luck, Coach, and we wish you the best. Hopefully, when we talk again, you're planning another trip over to the Final Four in Springfield.
Hopefully so. It sounds good to me.
All right, that's Coach Logan Dollins, and this has been the Kennett Lady Indian Softball Show.